circuit. And in that process, if some new circuit is found and it is detected by reward center, then the process stops. But in case, after repeated trials and errors, if punishment center is not able to find out the proper answer to the problem or not able to find out the new circuit, then you find that it starts reflecting in the activities of every cell, tissue, organ system of the body, which we call by the term the psychosomatic disorder, and which express on the outside in the form of expressions of anger, fear, and other, which we call by the term the so-called mind of the human body. And then on the internal side, it reflects in the form of high change in the blood pressure or change in the acidity, spasms in the respiratory system, or so many other disturbances. And this facility is available for all the animals who have developed limbic corticals or limbic structures and the thalamus. Because the neurophysiology now tells us that the neural basis of thoughts and consciousness is the activities of cerebral cortex, thalamus, and the limbic structures together, each playing its own role. Though physiology textbooks are wise enough to say that we still don't know exactly what is the reason. No, they don't mention the Starling view. They say that we don't know exactly what is the probable mechanism, but it appears that it has a neural basis only. So in further evolution, you find that in human brain, the neocortex develops with very large number of free processor units available. And it has also developed the centers which we now call by the term the language centers, which have been given the ability to the human body to convert its experiences in the form of alphabets of written and spoken symbols of communication. And this ability of which is given to the human being had changed the course of biological evolution to the psychosocial evolution, giving rise to number of small and big human groups. And this facility of the human body is responsible for the computer, how it is working. We will like to know that how this computer works. And we know that this computer is operated automatically by the intrinsically active nerve cells in the ascending reticular activating system. These cells are intrinsically active. They constantly send impulses to the cortex, and when the cortex is activated, we call it by the term the waking stage of the body. When the cortex is well connected with the organs of spatial senses as well as the locomotor system of the body. If the brain is active but it is functionally not connected, then we call it by the term the dream state. And if the brain is inactive, then we call it as the deep sleep state. The deep sleep state is produced because of, or the sleep state is produced because of, when the intrinsically active nerve cells are active, they remain active for 12 to 16 hours, and when they are active, they start sending impulses to the inhibitory cells also. And when inhibitory cells acquire sufficient threshold, they inhibit these activating cells. Activating cells, once inhibited, then till the inhibitory cells are fully discharged, they remain inactive. and the sleep state is produced. And during sleep, at intervals of about 90 minutes, you find the brain activity again increases, which we say that paradoxical sleep. And this increase is due to upgrading and downgrading of the memory circuits which were used in the waking state by the chemical substances produced. And that's why various forms are created during the deep dream state. And this upgrading and downgrading is more or less similar to the re-zeroing of the machine. That is, this highly specialized computer has got the ability to detect the changes, to analyze the changes with the help of 3 types of memory circuits. One type of memory circuit is genetically received memory circuit, which is mainly concerned with preservation of the body. Then it has got the second memory circuit, which is based on its own experiences, that is the experiences of which are gathered with the help of reward and punishment center. And thirdly, it has got memory circuits which are based on experiences of others which are given to it by the surrounding in which the body is born and brought up. So every human body, when it is born, it is just like any other mammalian body. But it has got all potentialities to evolve by adding more and more memory circuits in its activity. So that much revision of physiology of nervous system is enough, I think. So if we come to the metaphysical view or the Vedic view of human consciousness, we find that the whole Vedic philosophy is summarized in hardly 4 letters. The first letter tells us that Prajnanam Brahman, that this limitless universe is nothing else but the embodiment of abilities to know. The second one tells us that I am Atma Brahman, that it is the self, that is, which you see is, or this abilities to know is the soul, the essence of all our knowledge of the limitless universe. So it is because of these abilities only we have got this knowledge. The third sentence tells us that Tatvamasi, and that embodiment of knowledge is your identity. And the fourth one tells us that Aham Brahmasmi, that is the individual self and the universal self or the cosmic self are one and the same. So when they tell this, the problem comes to our mind that the cosmic self is so big fellow and we are so small. How the microcosm can be the same as macrocosm. And that's why the sages have told us that macrocosm being complete and full in itself, it enjoys the completeness and fullness of its existence, it reveals in itself. It doesn't depend on anything for its joy, or it is Satchidananda state only. So this is the basic cosmic. Now what will happen is the microcosm. The microcosm also is having the same internal craving for the completeness and fullness. But it is not able to see it because just as when sunlight passes through the prism, it splits into 7 different colors. Similarly, when this dynamic, vibrant energy of cosmos, when the abilities to know travel through this vibration, it splits into 7 abilities: a perceiver, feeler, thinker, desirer, doubter. Everybody is born. And it is this perceiver, feeler, who is really feeling that why I have got these limitations of that vibration, which is the vibration just within the cosmic energy. And because of that, it starts thinking of getting rid of these vibrations. Then it thinks that it gets happiness when it listens to some beautiful music, or goes to some scenery place, or goes somewhere to the bookstall and start reading such novel. So to get this experience again and again, the human being starts, or the human consciousness starts moving the body to these different places. This year I went to that scenery place, next year I go to that, with the idea that he will get that joy. But he finds that every time the joy he gets is only transient. It cannot be a permanent joy. He also finds that the joy is obtained when all the physical and social needs of the body are fulfilled, and it is with itself. So it makes it the body to run after health, wealth, power, position, and such other material gains to increase the means, so that as soon as the need comes, it will be able to fulfill that need. Or some people try to reduce the need gradually to keep it always within the means of the body. But the result is both of them get caught in the vicious circle. That is, when means start increasing, the needs also start increasing. And when you start to adjust your needs with the means also start increasing. And it shows that whether it is a mirage to run after, so ultimately when the time of death comes and the person lies in the deathbed, either with material plenty or material poverty, he starts wondering what this was, any mirage or what it is. And then he cannot take it as a mirage, because in everyday life he finds so many individuals enjoying the life of fulfillment. Some of them are ranging from the laborer's level to the scientist and philosopher's level. They enjoy the life of fulfillment, and if then what he does is, he tries to imitate their words, expressions, actions, to see that he will get the similar thing. But unfortunately, he finds that here also he fails. So here the Vedic philosophy tells us that the laws of universe